Hello friends, this is Dr. Dhawan and I'm presenting to you 10 most important clinical vignettes for the upcoming NEETPG or the next examination or the FMGE exam also. The first one is that 28-year-old female with bilateral gradually progressive hearing loss. So whenever you get a female young age, childbearing age group with bilateral gradually progressive hearing loss, think of otosclerosis and it is conductive hearing loss. Okay. Now the second one is that 45-year-old female with pulsatile tinnitus and or bleeding ear mass. Please do remember a lady with something pulsating or bleeding in the ear is definitely glomus jugulaire. A lady with something pulsating or bleeding in the ear is always glomus jugulaire patient. Now the third one, 50-year-old patient with unilateral conductive hearing loss and with or without cervical lymphadenopathy. Guys, this is a very possible question. Whenever a middle-aged or an elderly person with single-sided conductive hearing loss is there, think of nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Why there is cervical lymphadenopathy also given sometime? Because the most common presentation of nasopharyngeal carcinoma is metastatic cervical lymphadenopathy, and nasopharyngeal carcinoma is known to cause unilateral glue ear, and that leads to unilateral conductive hearing loss. A very possible question. Now, fourth one, 12-year-old boy with nasal mass and profuse epistaxis. Guys, this is definitely angiofibroma. A young boy with nasal bleeding is definitely angiofibroma. Okay. Now, ENT has got two vascular tumors. One is glomus jugulaire, and that's more common in females, and second one is angiofibroma, that is more common in young boys. A lady with something pulsating or bleeding in the ear is glomus jugulaire. A young boy with nasal bleeding is definitely angiofibroma. Now, fifth scenario. A long-standing history of foul-smelling, blood-stained ear discharge. Long-standing history of blood-stained, foul-smelling ear discharge is definitely again unsafe CSOM. Guys, in unsafe CSOM there is no pain. There is no pain. If there is pain along with long-standing ear discharge, think of malignancy. Pain along with long-standing history of ear discharge indicates towards malignancy, okay, in a middle-aged or old patient. Now, the sixth clinical scenario. 7-year-old child with unilateral foul-smelling nasal discharge and epistaxis. A school-going age child with single-sided, the key word is unilateral, nasal discharge, foul smell, and epistaxis is definitely due to foreign body in the nose. Very possible question again. Foreign body in nose present with single side smell, discharge, and epistaxis. The key word is unilateral, and the 7-year age is the school going age. Now, seventh clinical vignette. 6-year-old child with chronic hoarseness of voice with mild respiratory difficulty also. Now, this is typical scenario of juvenile papilloma of larynx. Okay, had there been 6-year-old child with only chronic hoarse voice, then think of vocal nodule, because vocal nodule also is a very common cause of voice changes like hoarseness of voice in a young child also. Okay, because they sometimes children have a habit of shouting, but in this patient the typical history is 6-year-old child with the hoarseness of voice which is chronic, and there is also accompanying symptom of respiratory difficulty also. So this is juvenile papilloma of larynx caused by HPV 6 and 11. Okay. Now this 8th clinical vignette. 40-year-old female patient with brief episodes of vertigo on changing head position. Vertigo on changing head position is indicative of benign paroxysmal positional vertigo. BPPV, very important topic. It's more common in females. The episode lasts only for few seconds, and they are aggravated by changing the head position. There is no tinnitus in this patient. There is no hearing loss in this patient. Okay, this is BPPV. Now, the 9th clinical vignette. 29-year-old patient with thick nasal mucin and heterogeneous nasal polypi on CT scan. Very possible clinical scenario again. 29-year-old patient with thick nasal mucin and heterogeneous nasal polypi seen on CT scan. This is indicative of allergic fungal sinusitis. You know, allergic fungal sinusitis, it has got two important findings. Number one is the thick nasal mucin, which has got typical appearance of peanut butter. There are eosinophils, there are fungal hyphae, there are Charcot Leyden crystals in the nasal mucin, and number two, there are heterogeneous nasal polypi which are seen on CT scan, and this is typical scenario which diagnosis in this case is allergic fungal sinusitis. Now, 10th and the last scenario is young patient with roomy nasal cavities, nasal crusting, and hard external nose. This is roomy nasal cavity, nasal crusting, and hard external nose. This is typical picture of rhinoscleroma, also called as woody nose. Just look at this question carefully. If this patient would have been only roomy nasal cavity and nasal crusting, then you should have thought about atrophic rhinitis. But if the history is having roomy nasal cavity with the nasal crusting and the hard external nose also, then the diagnosis is rhinoscleroma. You know why? Because in rhinoscleroma also the first stage is just like atrophic rhinitis, and that's called the atrophic stage. The second stage is granulomatous stage, and that leads to woody hard external nose. Okay, thank you very much and best wishes from my side. Keep learning, keep revising. Please go through this clinical vignettes 3 times so that all these 10 scenarios they fit into your head very well, and they're very possible question in the exam like NEETPG and the upcoming next exam and the foreign medical graduate examinations also. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.